Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Study General Studies with Lukmaan IAS for building comprehensive knowledge. GS paper 2 and 4 will be taken by S. Ansari and other papers will be covered by renowned faculties. Live classes are as effective as offline classes. The classes are highly interactive in nature. Your doubts and queries will be addressed and there will be dictation of notes. In the last 10 years, Lukmaan IAS has set up a niche in the field of UPSC guidance.
Okay, so I'm Anish and I will be taking the discussion for History Prelims Test Series. Okay, so if we analyze the question and the total number of question which has been asked in the yesterday, that is on the 5th of June, the prelims question paper. So in total what we find that in total 15 questions were asked that were related from history, and the question were covering the entire, the ancient part, medieval part, the modern history part and the art and culture portion also. Okay, so that art and culture portion was not directly linked to the core art and syllabus, but rather it was a mixed or a miscellaneous. The concept was there and at the same time it was related to the current affairs, things which were going on in the past for 2-3 years, not only just 1 year but even for the 2-3 years, the news which has been going on the basis of that questions were prepared. So history, if we talk about the ancient part, the medieval part and the modern history part, they were basically from the core subject was there, core knowledge was there. One needs to go through the standard textbook, especially like the old NCERT of the R.S. Sharma, for medieval history the Satish Chandra, and for the modern history the India Struggle for Independence, which is written by Bipin Chandra, and the edited authors are also there. So from there the questions has been asked, some miscellaneous questions are there, some questions related to current affairs are also there. Okay, so these are the sources from where the question will be asked. Here in this session we will only be doing and only we will be dealing about the correct answers. A detailed explanation, a detailed sources that we will be doing in another video. Okay, so let us just start with the question. The first question which we are taking the questions of the set A. Accordingly, people who are watching this video, in the set B it would be a different question number, for set C it would be different, and for set D it would be different. But right now we are taking the questions from the set A. Okay, so the first question of the history in the set A is 51. In the Government of India Act of 1919, the functions of the provincial government were divided into reserved and the transfer subject. So this is the statement which has been given. Which of the following were treated as reserved subject? So if all of you remember that we had covered this in our session and in our GS classes also, foundation classes also, that two types of subjects were there with the Government of India, and basically the main agenda of this Government of India Act was to devolve some kind of power towards the Indians. Okay, to make them a self-responsible kind of government was there. So, and in that the transfer subject were there and reserved, all of you can logically understand that these were not only the governor council. The governor council was there who can take the decision on all these matters. Okay, so basically reserved subject were those subjects on which the governor general council could take the decision. Now we have to find out that amongst these four, which were all under the reserved subject. Okay, administration of justice, local self-government, land revenue and police. See, this question is very easy. Okay, and on the basis of elimination only the answer can be gathered. That if the objective of the Self-Government of India Act was giving them some kind of self-governing right, So basically the local self-government would be given to the people. And why it would be kept in a reserved subject? Because if only the Governor General has to, if the Governor General has to make, then there is no point that two kind of list would be created, reserved or transferred. The reserved things are those things only which are very much crucial for maintaining the stability of the empire, for maintaining the colonial power. So if we go by other thing, the local self-government, so this cannot be in the reserved subject. So here we eliminate do what? We do eliminate two. So wherever two will be there, so wherever two option will be there, so this is where the two option is there, this is here two option is there, and here two option is there. So only one option is left. So this will be the correct answer. And yes, all of you can also analyze that administration of justice. Basically, the land revenue and the police. If they are going to give that, how the empire will be, how the foreign power will remain. If the land revenue they have to collect, that has to be within the reserve subject, so that the Britishers can have all the power and the control over that. Similarly for the police and similarly for the administration of justice. So on the basis of elimination, this question can be attempted. Okay. So here the answer will be option C. Okay. Now let us move to next question. In medieval India, the term phanam referred to clothing, coins, ornament and weapons. This we have done, and even in our prelims test series we have covered this, not the exact, but in the explanation series we have covered this term, that in the medieval India also the phanam refers to a type of coins, and many other words were also used, like the silver tanka, copper jital, many words were used. So in one of our prelims test series question related to medieval history, we have framed a question that the silver tongue, where you had to match the type of currency and the metal used. Silver, tanka, copper, jital, and then you had to match. So if the explanation would have been read, then this word was referred to that various types of names of the coin and their places. So phanam was used, it is a type of coins. Okay. Now next question. So here answer will be B. Consider the following freedom fighter: Barindra Kumar Ghosh, Jogesh Chandra Chatterjee and Ras Bihari Bose. Who of the above were actively associated with the Gadar party? So if all of you would have studied about the Gadar party, it is basically related to the modern Indian history. This is related to modern Indian history. And when the Komagata Maru incident has happened, the Gadar party which was formed in the San Francisco, and when the Komagata Maru incident has happened, it was only two personalities were there who were associated with the Gadar. They were associated with the Gadar movement, Ras Bihari Bose and Sachin Sanyal. Two personalities from Bengal were there, and they were Ras Bihari Bose and Sachin Sanyal. So we are not getting, these two personalities are not there, and Ras Bihari Bose is there. So what will be the answer? The answer will be option D, that is 3 only. Okay. With reference to the proposal of the Cripps mission, consider the following statement. So this, all I want to tell you that this question has been entirely framed from the source, and here the source is India's struggle for independence. India's struggle for independence. Okay, which is written by Bipan Chandra. Okay, so this is a very, very important book. It is there for the modern history, and every serious candidate has to study this, be it for prelims, be it for your GS paper, or anyone who is having the optional history. Okay, so this question has been framed from that. Okay. So let us analyze the statement the Constituent Assembly would have members nominated by the provincial assemblies as well as the princely state. Any province which is not prepared to accept the new constitution would have the right to sign a separate agreement with Britain regarding its future states. Okay. So here what we have to find out the right answer. See, the Constituent Assembly would have members nominated by the provincial assembly. This line, members nominated by the provincial assembly, this is not correct. This part, nominated. What basically the Cripps mission told was that the members who will be, the provincial election were to be held, okay, and from that provincial members, these members will choose for the a constituent assembly was to be formed. The person who were elected in the provincial assembly, they will elect or they will select the members of the constituent assembly from the provinces on the basis of proportional representation. This was proportional representation was there. So basically they were not nominated, but they would actually be elected. They would be elected, and then these elected people would go to the constituent assembly, and they will they will be responsible for forming a constitution, and that would be accepted by the British Majesty, and then the union or that dominion will come into existence. So here the question is telling what? That the members nominated by the provincial assembly, no, elected by the provincial assembly, and yes, nominated would be in the case of princely state. The princely state would nominate, and then on the basis of that, the assembly will form. Now, one of the again a provision which was there, and this was one of the reason why the Cripps mission was not accepted by the Congress. Many other leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Maulana Azad, they had, it is for this purpose the Cripps mission was one of the condition or one of the point for which the Cripps mission was not accepted, and that was that any province which is not prepared to accept the new constitution would have the right to sign a separate agreement with Britain regarding its future state. So this kind of provision was there. Okay. So what was the basic agenda behind this? What was happening? At that time the Congress was there was a demand for Indian Union was there. Sorry. Indian Union was there, and at the same time the Muslim League was rising in power. So basically the motive behind this was to also give the Muslim League a space or a scope to form a new nation. Because if the Muslim League is not ready, then they would have the power to form a new constitution by signing a separate agreement with the British. So this was the agenda, so that Muslim League can be recognized. Okay. So this statement is correct. So here the answer will be option B only. Okay. Now, with reference to Indian history, consider the following text. Niti Pakarna, Paristha Paravan, Avadan Shataka, and Trishakti Kahashana Mahapurana. Okay. So we have to identify that which of the text are the Jain text, or Jain text basically it means written by Jain scholars or Jain author, or having the content matter of the Jain or anything related to that. Okay. So if all of you would have studied about the about the Buddhist history, Avadhan is something which is related to the Buddhism. Avadhan, Divyadan, Mahadan, all these things are very much related to the the Buddhist history. So if we try to eliminate this 3, 3, 3. So on the basis of that elimination, that even if somebody is not knowing the answer, or any student who is not from history background, from a science background, and would have done just studies his GS course and a prelims preparation, so on the basis of that elimination also this answer could have been attempted. That is the Avadhan, something you eliminate 3, and here you eliminate 3 and you get the desired answer. Okay, and also the explanation is also there that this text is related to Buddhism and this text is related to Buddhism. So 1 and 3 are related to Buddhism and 2 and 4 are related to Jain. Okay, so here what will be the correct answer? Option B, detailed, that what was this book, what was the what this text contained, what was written, who was the author, that we will be covering in our detailed session when we will be doing the another next video of it. Okay, now with reference to Indian history, consider the following pair: historical person. Basically the names are given and to which religion they were associated, that is given. So Aryadev, Digdan and Nath Muni. Now this time all of you have to remember that this is for the first time that UPSC has introduced this kind of this kind of option giving answer. So what is that? What is the the beauty of this thing is that the elimination method, that is not going to work here. Okay, you have to write down or you have to know the correct answer. Either you know the correct answer or either you don't know the answer. And from now onward, definitely the UPSC will be framing the questions and will be giving the options in this manner only. So from now onwards, what is the best method? That either you know everything, then attempt the question, or either if you are not knowing about it, then leave the question, because even leaving the question will be beneficial for all of you, as it will not give you a negative marking. So even 0.33 marks is very much important to get your name in the mains list and to get your names in the merit list. And this time the UPSC has introduced it. Okay, so here we have to find out that all 3 pairs, only 2 pairs, 1 pairs. And so Aryadev basically, again, he is not a Jain scholar, but rather he is a Buddhist scholar. Okay, Dignaga is a Buddhist scholar, yes, it is right. And Nath Muni is a Vaishnav scholar. Again, in the detailed explanation series, I will be explaining about the Aryadev, what were his contribution, about all the 3 authors and their works. I will be explaining in the detailed series section. So here what we find, only Dignaga and Nath Muni, they are correctly matched. So here only 2 pairs are only correct match. So what will be the answer? Option C. Okay. Yes. Now coming to Indian history. So this question related to Mongol invasion, as I had been telling about, this has been taken directly from the Satish Chandra History of Medieval India. It is a very standard textbook and has to be read by every student who is preparing for UPSC examination. So this has been taken. Now the question is pertaining to the Mongol invasion. Okay, the first Mongol invasion of India happened during the reign of Jalaluddin Khalji. No, this is not right, because right from the reign of Iltutmish, okay, the incursion has started. Okay, and if we go about the dynasty wise, so first we are finding the Mamluk dynasty, in which Qutbuddin Aibak, then Iltutmish, Balban, Razia, all these are there. And after the Mamluk dynasty, we are getting this Khalji dynasty. Okay, Khalji dynasty is there. Okay, so first will be the incorrect. The first Mongol invasion has happened during the time period of Iltutmish. Okay, during the reign of Alauddin Khalji, one Mongol assault marched up to the Delhi and besieged the city. Yes, this is very true statement, and this was the reason why Alauddin adopted market reforms. And here, when the Delhi was besieged by the Mongol, then he established a new city in Delhi, that is the city of Siri. This was the reason why Alauddin had to build a new city of Siri, and the entire raising of the army, the market policies, the Dag and the Chehra system, and with maintaining, Alauddin was also known as what? For the first Sultanate ruler for maintaining a standing army. So it was due to this reason the Mongol assault which besieged the Delhi, the Alauddin Khalji, made a new capital, carried out the market reforms and made a standing army. Okay, so this statement is correct. Muhammad bin Tughlaq temporarily lost portion of the northwest of his kingdom to Mongol. Rather, it is just opposite. He didn't lost, but by the time the Delhi Sultanate and its army has become very much powerful, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq was able to control and even drove out the Mongols from the Indus region. Okay, so this statement is also correct, also incorrect. So what will be the correct answer? The option will be B only. We have to identify the correct. Okay, so 2 will be the option B will be the correct answer. Okay. With reference to Indian history, which of the following were known as Kulha Dharan? Arab merchant, Qalandars, Persian calligraphist and Sayyid. So the Kulha Dharan, that is related to the Sayyid, it was basically a type of cap which were worn by this Sayyid dynasty. It was one of the dynasty of the Mughal, Mamluk, Khalji, then Tughlaq, then Sayyid and then Lodi. So Sayyid dynasty people, they were known to wear this kind of cap. It is a kind of cap which is wear. So Kulha Dharan is associated with the Sayyids. Okay, so the correct answer will be D. With reference to Indian history, consider the following statement. So the Dutch established their factories, warehouses on the east coast on the land granted to them by the Gajpati ruler. Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from the Bijapur Sultanate. The English East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot of land leased from a representative of the Vijayanagar Empire. Now we have to identify the correct statement. So if we talk about, yes, this statement is very true, that he was the second governor of the Portuguese. Okay, there 3 important governors were there. Almeida was there, Albuquerque was there. Okay, so second one, and he acquired it from the Bijapur Sultan. So this statement is correct. So here we go for that, wherever 2 will be there, we will find. So on the basis of that, we can eliminate that option C will not be there. Now the Dutch established their factory warehouses on the east coast. Yes, it is very true. And their stronghold in the eastern coast was at Pulicat. Okay, the Dutch had established themselves in the Pulicat, and basically this Pulicat was not given to them by the Gajpati ruler, but actually by the Vijayanagar kings, by the Vijayanagar rulers. Okay, so that was not directly. There were many Nayaks under the Vijay. It was a feudal system was there, and there were Nayaks, and they were under the control of the Vijayanagar ruler. So actually it was the Vijayanagar ruler who gave the land to the Dutch to establish their factory. So this statement will be incorrect. This statement is very true. The East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot from a representative of the Vijayanagar Empire. Yes, this is a true statement. Again, the history, the detailed explanation series, that how things happened, there is a detailed explanation is there, and rather this question is a combination of static plus current affairs. Static plus current affairs, this question. These two are from the current affairs, and this line is from the static portion. These two facts, basically when India celebrated its 100 years of indentured labor, the people, then a series was carried out, and this was entirely covered in the Hindu, and even the Lukmaan IAS, where the Hindu analysis is done every day, which is taken by the Lakshmi sir. Okay, so this was covered. So this question is a combination of static plus current affairs. The second part is from the static portion, and these two things were covered from the Hindu analysis. Okay. So here what will be the correct answer? The correct answer will be 2 and 3 because first is wrong. So we have to eliminate 1, 1, 1, and on the basis of that B will be the correct answer. Now this is a very, very in-depthful, which cannot be, I would suggest that if you get ever this type of question, don't take chances, because 99% is chance there, because you are not going to study the Arthashastra during your preparation. Okay, and this will be a very disputable question also, because majority of the answer key which is available in the market, that is not getting verified. I will cover this, and I will take the session, and I will take a session, and I will show the words by words and the pages from the Arthashastra, where whatever the answer which I am giving, which will be verified from the text also. Okay, so that we will do in the discussion series, but for this session, let us try to find out the answer. So this question is entirely talking about the concept of the slave, or what kind of right these people had. Okay, a person could be a slave as a result of judicial punishment. See, if we study Arthashastra, two kind of personalities or two kind of person are mentioned. The first is the Aryan, and the second one is non-Aryan. Okay, and in the Arthashastra itself, 4 types of or 4 ways are given in which a person can be classified as a slave. That person can be, born, purchased, and there are 2 more categories are there. Right now I am forgetting those 2 categories, but if we, on the basis of that analysis, the evidence I will give also. See, a person could be a slave as a result of judicial punishment, and that 4 category does not include the judicial punishment. Okay, now a person can be Aryan also, a person can be a non-Aryan also. It is not written whether that person is Aryan or non-Aryan. 2 classification are there, Aryan and non-Aryan. Here it is said a person can be a slave as a result of judicial punishment. A person cannot become a slave by the process of or as a result of judicial punishment. While at the same time an Aryan cannot, that Arthashastra also tells that an Aryan can never be a slave. At any condition he cannot be a slave. Even if an Aryan mortgage himself or his family due to any reason, even in that context also, an Aryan will not be considered as a slave. So if we link these 2 factors, from that basis we find that this statement is wrong. Getting my point? An Aryan cannot be a slave, and slave, the category in which a person can be given a slave, it does not include the judicial punishment. It can happen by birth, it can happen by mortgaging, anything. Okay, so on the basis of that the statement 1, it is getting eliminated. Okay, so if we eliminate 1, 1 and 1, we are getting the answer on the basis of elimination. It has been clearly mentioned in the Arthashastra that if a female slave bore her master a son, she was legally free. Basically, in the Arthashastra, it is not written as a son, but a child is written, and that child could be a girl child also and a male child also. But here they have framed the question in such a manner so that person get confused. So even this statement is correct. So on the basis of that elimination, we are finding that this option is the best option to go for, and hence the answer will be 2 and 3 because 1, 1 and 1 is there. By eliminating only the first option we can get the answer. Okay, so here the correct option will be B, that is 2 and 3 are the correct statement. Okay. Yes. Now site of Ashoka's major rock edict. So this is very important. Again, a similar type of question was framed in the prelims test series of the Lukmaan IAS, and in that, the rock edicts were there. Okay, the question was not in this sense, but it was mentioning about what the message was getting conveyed by the rock edicts. Okay, the message conveyed by Ashoka through rock edicts. Okay, so let us understand. So we have to find the edicts and their location. So Dhauli, yes, it is correctly represented that it is located in the state of Odisha. Iragudi, again it is correctly, it is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. This Jaugada, it is not in the Madhya Pradesh, that it is in the state of Odisha. Okay, and Kalsi, it is not in Karnataka, rather it is in Uttarakhand. Okay. So what we are getting, that only 2 options are there, 1 and 2. So what will be the answer? So only 2 pairs are correctly matched. Okay, so this will be the answer for this question. Again, I will take a discussion that what does it contain, what was the reason, again in the detailed explanation series. Now, Nanuka, again we have to match the king and the dynasty. Okay, Nanuka, Jaya Shakti, Nagbhatta II and Bhoj. Okay, so if we find out that yes, Nanuka is related to the Chandela dynasty and he was the founder of the Chandela dynasty. Okay, Jaya Shakti is again related to the Chandela. This is not related to Paramhara. Okay, Nagbhatta is related to Gujra Pratihar and Bhoj is also related to Gurjara Pratihar. Okay, so this is incorrect, this is incorrect. So only 2 pairs are correctly matched. Okay, so what will be the correct answer? Only 2 pairs are correctly matched. So option B. Which of the following statement about Sangam literature in ancient South India is correct? This is a very basic question which has been covered from the old NCERT, and there is a chapter related to Sangam age, history of the South India of the R.S. Sharma. From reading that chapter, the answer could be analyzed, not directly, but you have to find out. Sangam poems are devoid of any reference to material culture. No, they are talking about the state, the Chola, Chera, Pandya. Okay, they are mentioning about this. This is wrong. Okay, it is mentioning about giving the kind of material information. Even it is mentioning about the various kind of ports which were important, the trade. Okay, the kind of cotton, what kind of things were for that trade was done. That reference is being provided in the Sangam. Okay, Sangam poems basically refer to the warrior classes in praise of the kings. Yes, the eulogies are there. So this is also an incorrect statement. Sangam literature refers to magical forces as irrational. See, at that point of time, how can a society say that magical forces is irrational? It is not possible. They will only then the basis of divinity. If you are showing to the king that if he is there, he will win every war. So basically he is showing that he has some kind of magical power. He can control the elephant, he can control the army, he can defeat anyone. So this is something that yes, the presence of magical forces are there. Okay? Yes. Yes, yes, definitely. So we are left with option B. The social classification of one was known to the Sangam poet. Yes, the The various classes of people are mentioned in the Sangam age, like the military class. Inadi ceremony is there. Vellalar are there. Kadaisiyar are there. Vellar, all these kinds of things has been mentioned in the Sangam poet. The Brahmins are, the Varn system is there. The Varn classification is being mentioned. So they are knowing about the classification of the Varn. And basically this Sangam poem was composed by the Brahman learned people. So when Brahman is coming to the picture, automatically the Varn system will come. So here we have to identify the correct option. So the option B will be the correct answer. Okay. Okay. Again, now this question, Yoga Vasist, very very factual question and a very insightful question and not easy to attempt. Okay. So whenever you are getting this kind of question and when you are not clear and when you people have not studied that who was the author and in whose reign it was done, don't try to attempt those questions, because if you know only then attempt the answer, otherwise it will lead to a negative marking. So basically here the correct answer will be Akbar. Nizamuddin Panipati, he was associated with the court of Akbar. Again a detailed explanation, who was Nizamuddin Panipati, what kind of other works he has done, what is this Yoga Vasist, what is the content of this Yoga Vasist, that I will be taking in the next discussion class. Okay. 94, so option will be A. 95. The world's second tallest statue in sitting pose of Ramanuja was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India at Hyderabad recently. Which one of the following statement correctly represent the teaching of the Ramanuja? The best mean of salvation was devotion. Vedas are eternal, self-existence and wholly authoritative. Logical argument were essential for the highest bliss. Salvation was to be obtained through meditation. See, now this question is very tricky, and again this question, the reference to this question, it is a combination of current affairs plus your static portion, and the answer for this question lies in your static part, not in the current affairs part but in the static part. And in the static it is related to old NCERT, where you study about the 6 philosophies, and in the last, if you go in there is a philosophy of Vedant, and in Vedant 2 personalities has been mentioned, Sankaracharya and Ramanuja. So Sankaracharya is saying that God is without any attribute. So in order to acquire the Advaitavad, the philosophy of the Shankaracharya is Advaitavad. So it is saying that the God is without any attribute, and to acquire the God or to acquire salvation, one should follow the path of knowledge. Okay, and just its opposite is the philosophy given by Ramanuja, who says that in order to acquire salvation or in order to acquire God through the means of salvation, one should follow the path of devotion. Okay. So what we are saying that the best mean of salvation was devotion. Vedas are eternal, self-existence and wholly authoritative. This is something which can be said to be the the Vedanta philosophy and the Mimamsa also, and to some extent Mimamsa also. Logical argument, which will be there? Logics, Nyaya. Okay, and salvation was to be obtained through meditation. This is something what? Something related to that. Okay, yes. Okay, so here the correct answer will be option A. The Prime Minister recently inaugurated the new circuit house near Somnath Temple at Virabal. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the Somnath Temple? This temple is very, it has been in news continuously, because at one point of time, and especially during the early medieval time, this temple was a repository of wealth, and its repository of wealth, the gold, attracted the Turkish invaders into India and to loot it also. Okay, so this question is related to current affairs, a historical question, but entirely framed in the sense of an art and culture also, because if we are talking about that, the Somnath temple is one of the Jyotirling signs, so it is related to Indian culture also. Okay, primarily dealing with the religion of the, not to everything, but to one religion, belonging to any one religion. Okay, so if anybody, we have to select the correct answer. Okay, yes, the Prime Minister. So Somnath temple is one of the Jyotirling shrines, so this is a correct answer. A description of Somnath temple was given by Al-Biruni, this is also correct. The Pran Pratishtha of Somnath temple was done by President Radhakrishnan. No, the Pran Pratishtha of this Somnath temple was done by the first president of independent India, that is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay, so this statement is incorrect, and we have to identify the correct statement regarding this. So we have to eliminate 3, 3, 3. On the basis of that, so even if somebody would have, have been through the current affairs and would have, this has been covered in the newspaper. This statement was there, that the Pran Pratishtha of the, even if this 2 was not available, this statement has been covered in the news in the current affairs. So on the basis of this only, the answer could have been find out. So here the answer will be option A, 1 and 2 only. Okay. Okay, so I think this is all the 15 questions which were asked in the related to history, art and culture portion. Okay, we have done with only with the answers and just the explanation series. A detailed explanation, the trend analysis, the important books and the sources from where questions will be covered, that we will be taking up in the next videos. Okay, thank you very much.